What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Reality Roundtable. I'm your host, Jonathan Brown, and I appreciate you for spending some time to listen to this episode, wherever you're listening to it from. And in today's episode, I want to start with one simple question. Is it really worth it? Not the easy questions. Not, should I buy these shoes? Or should I order takeout? I'm talking about the deeper questions. Is holding on to that grudge really worth it? Is scrolling social media for 3 hours really worth it? Is arguing with strangers online really worth it? Is staying comfortable worth sacrificing your dreams? Because if we're honest, most of us don't ask ourselves these questions until we've already paid the price. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We always think about the price, but we rarely think about the cost. There's a difference. A video game costs $70. But if you play it 8 hours every day, the real cost isn't $70. It's months, years, potential opportunities, relationships, health, and growth. Everything in life has a hidden receipt. The problem is, the receipt shows up later. You don't notice one unnecessary purchase. You don't notice one wasted afternoon. And you don't notice one impulsive decision. But if you stack enough of those together, you'll suddenly wake up wondering where the last 5 years went. That's scary because life doesn't disappear all at once. It disappears one ordinary day at a time. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels familiar. Comfort tells you, you can start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next year. And the next thing you know, 5 birthdays have gone by. And I know that sounds very dramatic with the timeline that I just gave, but that could happen. Nothing changed. Comfort isn't always obvious, because sometimes comfort looks productive. Watching another motivational video, reading another self-help book, planning, researching, thinking, preparing, but never taking action. There's a difference between learning and hiding behind learning. Sometimes we're not preparing, we're procrastinating, and we call it preparation because it just sounds better. Our brains love instant rewards. Whether that's fast food, notifications, shopping, streaming, or likes. Those are easy, and they're immediate, and they make us feel good for about 5 minutes. The problem is that life rewards delayed gratification. Everything worthwhile takes time. A healthy body, a strong marriage, financial freedom, confidence, or peace. None of those things happen overnight. Yet we keep choosing short-term comfort over long-term fulfillment. Imagine planting a tree You don't just dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. You have to trust the process. So why don't we do that with our own lives? So instead of asking, what do I feel like doing? Try asking yourself, what kind of person am I becoming? And instead of asking, will this make me happy today? Ask yourself, will this make me proud a year from now? Because those are completely different questions. The quality of your life often depends on the quality of your questions. Now imagine you're 80 years old and you're sitting on your porch and you're looking back at the decisions that you've made. What decisions would make that version of you smile? And what choices would make that version of you shake your head? Sometimes all we need is perspective. People underestimate consistency. They think that success comes from huge moments. It usually doesn't. It comes from tiny choices, whether that's drinking water, going for a walk, calling your parents, reading 10 pages, saving $20, or getting enough sleep. Doing the hard thing even when no one is watching. The opposite of that is also true. Tiny bad habits don't seem dangerous at first, until they become your lifestyle. One unnecessary purchase won't ruin your finances. One impulsive decision won't ruin your future. Typically. But repeated patterns eventually become your identity. So let's go even deeper. Because here's something I've realized. Life isn't just about making better decisions. It's about becoming a better decision maker. Because those two things are completely different. Anyone can make a good decision. But building a life where good decisions become your default, that's where real transformation happens. Think about it. Most people don't wake up one day and completely ruin their lives. It happens little by little. One excuse, one bad habit, one compromise, one moment where they say, I'll deal with it later. And then later becomes years. And suddenly, they don't recognize the person staring back at them in the mirror. That didn't happen overnight. It happened one ordinary day at a time. So let me ask you something. Who are you when no one's watching? Not who you pretend to be, and not who social media thinks you are. Not who your coworkers think you are. But who are you really when you're by yourself? That's the real version of you. Character isn't built in front of people. It's revealed when no one's around. It's easy to be disciplined when everyone is cheering for you. But it's a lot harder when no one even knows you're trying. Can you still wake up early? Can you still work towards your goals? And can you keep your promises to yourself? And also, can you stay honest? Because every time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence drops a little. But every time you keep one, your self-respect grows. People think confidence comes from compliments. And that's just not the case. Confidence comes from evidence. Evidence that you can trust yourself. One of the biggest lies that we tend to tell ourselves is that I'm just busy. But are you really? Or are you just distracted? There's a difference. Some of us spend an entire day moving without making any progress. Answering emails, checking notifications, watching videos, scrolling, running errands, and by the end of the day, we're exhausted. But nothing meaningful actually took place. Being busy can become a hiding place. It makes us feel productive, but activity isn't the same as progress. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is turn everything off. Sit in silence and ask yourself, what actually matters today? You'll be surprised how many things don't. Let's touch on regret again. Not because it's fun, but because it's real. I've never met an older person who said, I wish I spent more time arguing. No one says, I wish I worried more. I wish I compared myself to more people. Or I wish I would have watched another 1,000 hours of TV. Most regrets sound like this. I wish I would have started. I wish I would have apologized. I wish I would have forgiven. I wish I would have believed in myself. That is what regret sounds like. And the scary thing, today's excuses becomes tomorrow's regrets. Don't let comfort rob you of memories you'll wish you had. Imagine yourself at 90 years old. Someone hands you one more day. What would you do? Who would you call? Who would you forgive? What dream would suddenly become important? Now here's the question. Why wait until you're 90? We don't become who we are by ourselves. People shape us. People inspire us, challenge us. Some people drain us though. And here's something I've learned. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you leave feeling hopeful or exhausted? Motivated or discouraged? Sometimes protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. That doesn't mean abandoning people. It means recognizing who helps you become your best self. And here's the other side. Ask yourself, what kind of person are you becoming for others? When people leave a conversation with you, do they feel encouraged or defeated? Do they feel heard or ignored? We all leave fingerprints on people's lives. Make sure yours are worth remembering in a positive way. When we're young, we think success looks like money, big houses, luxury cars, recognition. But as we get older, the more we realize that success is sleeping peacefully. Success is having people who genuinely love you. Success is having integrity and keeping your word. And success is becoming someone your younger self would admire. Don't get me wrong. Money is useful. And achievements do matter. But if you lose yourself getting those things, was it really success? Or was it just expensive failure? The richest people aren't always the happiest. And the happiest people aren't always the richest. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with something. Imagine life as a giant jar. Every day you get to place something inside. Whether that be a conversation, habit, decision, memory, or a relationship. And over time, that jar fills up. One day, you won't be able to add anything else. The question isn't whether that jar will fill, because it will. The question is, what are you filling that jar with? Will it be moments that mattered, or moments that simply passed you by? Don't wait for a tragedy to appreciate today. And don't wait for retirement to start living. Don't wait until someone is gone to tell them that you love them. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Life doesn't reward perfect timing. It rewards consistent action. So when this episode ends, I don't want you to feel motivated, because motivation fades. I just want you to make one decision. One decision to start, to stop. One phone call, one apology, one step towards a person you've always wanted to become. Because a better life isn't built in one giant leap. It's built one worthwhile decision at a time. And before every decision, ask yourself one simple question. Is it worth it? Thank you for listening to this episode of Reality Roundtable. I'm your host, Jonathan Brown, and we'll be back with another episode next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thank you, and have a great day.